Together for our time together in this sermon series, Jesus Take the Wheel. I want to welcome you to AHOP's Auto Shop. I will be coming from the thought of it's time for an all change. With only 17 days until the new year, some of us, if not all of us, are in need of an all change. Just got an all change or overdue for an all change. Turn to your neighbor and say, it's time for an all change. Turn to your other neighbor, slap them a high five and say, it's time for an all change. If I can be honest, I'm talking about an all change. I was overdue. I was in the overdue category by 267 miles. If you know anything about these new vehicles, it talks to you every day. The engine, as soon as you turn it on, it's ding, all change, 150 miles or in 15 days. Ding, all change, 50 miles or in 10 days. Ding, all change in 25 miles or in 5 days. Ding, all change in 10 miles or in 3 days. I'm like you, it's getting on my nerves too. Ding, all change is overdue 267 miles. Needless to say, I finally was able to get into the dealership on Thursday to get an oil change. But how many of you can identify and testify that the vessel we carry around day after day, night after night, month to month, year to year, have been dinging, indicating that you too are in need of an oil change? Your head has been dinging, ding. Your tooth has been dinging, ding. Your back has been dinging, ding. Your hands, knees, heart, mind, spirit, all have been dinging, trying to get your attention because you are running on fumes and are in need of an oil change. Shout, I need an oil change. As I was preparing for this assignment, I researched what an oil change actually entailed for the very first time. I discovered that the service department not only check the oil, but also oil filters. They also inspect the oil filters, the air filters, the carbon filters, belts, and hoses. They check fluids, tires, and windshield wiper blades, and so much more. There are so many things are required to be done on time so it don't cost you overtime. You see, regular oil changes need to be done so we can go where we never gone so we can see what we never seen, because we got to do what we never done before. Let me say that again for those in the back and online. You see, I'm not just talking about an oil change for your vehicle. I'm also referring to the oil change for this vessel. We have to take care of our mental, physical, and emotional well-being so we can go where we never gone before, to see what we never seen before, because we got to do what we never done before. So I ask you, when is the last time you checked your personal oil? What do you mean, Minister Mo? You already know. I'm glad you asked. I'm talking about your mind and your thoughts, your mouth and your language, your heart and the position that it's in. Have you done an inspection on your eye gate and your ear gate lately? If you answered no to any of these or one of these, you're overdue for an oil change. Just like our vehicle filters get contaminated with acids, burnt fuel, carbon particles, and slug, which reduces the efficiency of the engine, the oil should be changed more often. If it's not, it runs idle, stopping and going, driving like rush hour, pulling a trailer, or driving in dusty conditions. Regular oil changes are the best way to ensure longer engine life. However, just like a vehicle, you too, like I, require regular oil changes from the contamination we encounter from people, places, and things to ensure we function efficiently as the people of faith. It may be dusty habits, burnt out ways of thinking, or polluted values causing us to become idle. We may have absorbed toxic ideas from the media and or associates which have devalued our hopes and hampered the maturing of our faith. We may have become so seized with doubt and cynicism about God that we have lost our capacity to trust him in faith. Perhaps our hearts have accumulated a slug buildup from bad habits of gloom, anger, bitterness, or wrongs that we have never acknowledged and or forgiven. Maybe our countenance has become marked by heaviness, which caused our joy and inner peace to vanish. These are the signs that the all change is overdue and the warning light is flickering. I stopped by to encourage just a few of you, just 8 of you, that the same way it is important, if not critical, that we pay attention to our vehicles, it is equally as important and equally critical that we pay attention to this vessel. Shout, I need an oil change. As you see my vehicles, and Minister Monica came with the stop signs, and we had to make hard stops in life. If you do not do what you're supposed to do, it's going to cost you later to do what you want to do. See, Pastor went out and he got the jumping cables. If you didn't see the video or the picture that he posted, he had to hook up the cable to another car so that he can give it a jump. If you do not make sure you maintain this vessel, God is going to have to pull you over and give you a jump as well. So, as if I am, as always, all, we're talking about all. You cook things with all. You get you some vegetable oil if you want to fry some chicken. You get you some vegetable oil if you want to make some French fries. You put a little oil if you want to saute your vegetables. But then you go to the oil, you get you some oil when you got to put it in your car. You get you some oil when you need to update your vehicle. I know my accent is kicking in. I know. But what about when the oil needs to be changed? See, this is vegetable oil that I had over some time. While some of us will probably still fry in this or not, or maybe add some fresh oil to it to stretch it, this is what we are eating, if we can be all the way honest. But what about when we stop going to get those regular oil changes? I stopped by Jiffy Lube, shout out to my people, and I asked them, can I get some oil? And this is the oil that they had from changing cars. This is some of the oil that some of us are walking around carrying. This is what some of our engines or engine look like, whether it's your vehicle engine or your vessel engine, because you have not taken the time to change your oil. Oil. As some of you may know, and many of us are learning, the book of Psalms is a collection of poems, prayers, and hymns that focus the worshiper's thoughts on God's in praise and adoration. Which brings me to my first point. Don't forget to check your oil. Check is defined as to examine something in order to determine its accuracy, quality, or the condition, or to detect the presence of something. When the mechanic goes when your car goes into the shop, they pull out your dipstick, which is in the vehicle. I did some research. And they look in it and they dip it in and they make sure the oil levels is where it need to be. If it's a certain color, they tell you you're okay. If it's below a certain line, they tell you they need to top you off. But if your oil looks like this, say like this, they tell you that you are in need of an oil change. Here in Psalms 139, verse 23, we see it start off with, search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. If I can go ahead and just change just one word, I want you to see what it looks like and let me know how it feels. If it says, check me, O God, and know my heart. Thoughts. Trust me and know my anxious thoughts. Here he's talking directly to God, asking God to search and or check his heart. His mind essentially requesting a deep examination of his inner thoughts, his motives, to identify any potential sin or wrongdoing. I know, that was probably a lot, but basically, he's asking God to check his oil on a spiritual level. When was the last time you asked God to search and or check you? To really check your attitude filter, your behavior filter, the business filter, your finances, your health, your heart, and your marriage and or your singleness. If I can be honest with you, that can be scary. That is a scary thing to do. Not because we know what he's going to find, but because it is going to require us to be vulnerable and accountable, which will ultimately require us to change. The hymn writer Tim LeMans said it like this: change me, O Lord, and make me more like you. Change me, O Lord, wash me through and through. Create in me a clean heart so I can worship you. Thank you, Mark. You can stop right there. I don't know about you. I don't know who I'm talking to, but what if I can get 2 or 3 people to testify that you need God to do some major cleaning in your oil filter called life? Open up your mouth and shout, I need an oil change. As I stated, with only 17 days from the top of 2025, if we continue to ignore the warning signs of our spiritual engine, we will begin to run just like a car, burning lots of smoke and bleeding all over God's people, producing pollution with our stinking thinking and negative talk, wasting time, energy, and money because our unwillingness to check our oil, batteries, and pump our brakes. We find it burdensome to love ourselves or to love others, become insufficient as people in God's kingdom. We see little results for our efforts, all because we refuse to do what? Check our oil. Which brings me to my second point. Don't forget to change your oil. Change is defined as to replace something with something else, especially something of the same kind. That is new or better. When you go to the dealership, you don't require oil. You don't think that they would not put the regular car oil in your car and replace it with vegetable oil. You want to make sure that you are getting the equal and not the same value of which you already had originally. You don't want to go somewhere else. You're going to the nail salon thinking you're getting a fill-in and you wind up getting your hair cut. You don't want to go to the foot doctor and you wind up getting your stomach checked. You have to make sure that the thing that you are replacing the thing with is the exact same thing that is being put back in you, but at an elevated rate. You want it to be changed. Point 2 says point out anything that offends you. But let's go and change that to change anything that offends you. Here, David is praying for God to look for anything in him that causes pain, such as sinful thoughts, intentions, brokenness, jealousy, unforgiveness, bitterness, and or hate that causes God pain, or anything that will cause pain to others. When was the last time you looked at your hand and took your hand off of a situation or a problem and truly let God take the wheel? Some of us, if I can be honest, are going through something right now, but we gotta be in control. Some of us are afraid to let God step in because we don't know exactly what is about to be exposed. But how many of you can identify and testify that in this season, I'm taking my hand off of it? In this season, I'm going to get the oil change. I came to let about 8 of you know in the sanctuary and online the reason why you are struggling and slugged in your finances, your marriage, you're with your coworkers, your kids, your family, friends, is because you won't let go of this old oil. You won't let it go. In order to get all that God has for you, You must let go of the oil you use in 2021, 22, 23, 24, 99, 98, 97, 96, jump back to 24, skip back to 23, and allow him to be like Psalms 51, verse 10, and creating you a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. The only way to get this is to change your oil. Right before Thanksgiving, I went to the gastrologist to get a checkup. For some time, I've been struggling with some digestive issues. Just wanted to know before 2025 came in what was really going on. So I went, I did that, I got some information. We set up a colonoscopy. On Wednesday, I told the ladies, and we just had a mass conversation. Because, see, you decide that you don't know what you want to share because you don't want people to judge you or look at you sideways. But lo and behold, to me, I wasn't alone. And with that, I shared, and we got the laughing and joking and talking, and I felt better knowing that as I was preparing, say prepare. Minister Monica said the hardest part is the prep. The hardest part is the prep. And I told them I was going to get up and I was going to go to work Thursday, and I did. I made it to work. I meant to take you guys a picture and send it, but I made it to work. While I probably should not have went to work, I made it safe and sound. But on that Thursday, when I began to do the actual prep for the medical prep for the procedure on Friday, the hardest part was really the prep. They told you that you have to fast for the next 2 days. You had to be on clear liquids and light food, such as Jell-O and ices. But how many of you know it's during those fasting times, get ready for Pastor to call a fast before 2025, but how many of you know every time you go on something, whether it's voluntarily or involuntarily, everybody want to treat you to lunch? Everybody got food. Everybody want to offer you something. Everybody got fried chicken. Now they want to go get seafood. It's like everybody got all of these things. And I'm like, well, Monday, where were you when I was hungry and I had to eat? But it's okay. So as I was home, I was prepping and I went out and I got all of the things that I needed and I started the process. And as I was sitting in the house by myself and nothing wasn't happening, and I began to say, God, all right, have your way. Any minute now, whatever's going on. And I went back and I read the paperwork, and it said it can take between 30 to 60 minutes before everything to get rolling. Well, maybe an hour and 30 for me, 90 minutes. Okay, cool. And then it said that once it gets rolling, you will know that your oil has been cleaned because it will be clear at the bottom. See, I don't know who I came to encourage, but I'm clear. All clear. My oil is clean. And then I had to go Friday morning and get up at 5:30, and I had to do the other bottle. And I said, well, there's nothing else. I'm all clear. But as I went again and I did it and it went, and I said, okay, this feels good. I don't know how many of you are struggling with being all clear. I don't know how many of you are struggling with releasing some things in this season. I share my story and my testimony to let you know that I'm walking lighter. I feel lighter. The things that I wanted to eat, I no longer want to eat. So I need you in 2024 not to go back to the oil that you are so familiar with in 2025. Because eyes haven't seen and ears haven't heard what God is about to give you in the next season. 17 days, say 17. Say 17. 17 days, God can do some amazing things. Your new year can be right now. Your new year doesn't have to wait till the ball to drop because you can have it right now. We started off with the presence of God. He's already in this place, so don't leave out of this place without getting your new oil. I promise you the hardest part was the prep, which is Acts 3:19. Repent then and turn to God so that your sins may be wiped out, that times of refreshing may come from the Lord. It takes humility to admit that you have slug buildup and or sin. It took me a lot to share that because I said I wasn't, but I get up here and tell my business all the time. But I want you to understand that it's okay. This is what slugged oil looks like. What do you look like? Have you really searched your heart lately? Have you really searched that argument with a friend or a relative? It's no longer cute to be called the nasty lady in church. It's no longer cute to go around not speaking to people. A good morning and a good night or a goodbye goes a very long way. It's not cute to go in with the same heart posture, but your hands is open and you trying to figure out why God is not blessing you. It's not cute to go into 2025 with old oil. Which brings me to my third point. Don't forget to seek counsel concerning your oil. Don't forget to seek counsel concerning your oil. See, this is 24b because it was only 2 scriptures right there. And that one states, lead me along the path of everlasting life. Lead me along the path of everlasting life. Counsel is defined as getting advice. You want to be able to get guidance so that it can lead you to where you want to go. You don't go to somebody to start a business and you go talk to a school teacher. You don't go to become a mechanic and you go to a doctor. You got to go to wise counsel. Here, David is asking God to lead him and counsel him into righteousness. What do you mean, Minister Mo? Come on with it. I'm glad you asked. David is already aware that God knows everything about him, including his thoughts, words, and actions. So what better person as to be your lead counsel than the one who knows you best? David is asking God to be his lead counsel, which is the primary figure responsible for managing his life. Can I ask you all a question? Who and or what is the lead counsel over your life? You hear lead counsel in court. That is the one that's managing your court case. You hear the doctor, not the nurse. The doctor is the one that's taking care of you. You hear that in everything that you do. Who is the lead counsel in or over your life? Is it fear? You need an oil change. Is it doubt? You need an oil change. Low self-esteem, you need an oil change. Your marriage, you need an oil change. Being single, I'm got an oil change. What is it that is guiding you, giving you direction, giving you answers in this season? Have you sought out wise counsel about the oil and the anointing on your life? If we all would be honest with ourselves, we have in the past, just yesterday or even a few seconds ago, consulted with someone about everything, such as our gifts, talents, and treasures, but not the one who anointed and appointed us with them. I challenge us, as I challenge myself, to allow Jesus to take the wheel. Get the oil change and allow him to be your lead counsel in every area of your life. While the prep was hard, the process on the other side was amazing. What would it be like if you took your hands off of the wheel and let God take total control of every area of your life? How amazing would it be that you would begin to walk by faith, literally, and not by sight? Because if you look around, it looks crazy. If you look down, you're going to fall and potentially fail. But I know a man, say a man, who shall not lie. Which brings me to my bonus point. Don't forget, he covered the cost for our oil. As I prepare to take my seat, I just want to remind you that we are the ones who pay the price when we have to get our oil service, which means someone else does the work and we pay the bill. But how many of you are grateful and thankful that Jesus paid the price for our spiritual oil change? Come here, John 3:16, for this is how God loved the world. He gave his one and only son, so that everyone who believes in him will not perish, but have eternal life. Oh, what about Isaiah 53:5? But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. Check and change your oil. Tim LeMan said it. Change me, oh Lord. The altar is now open. Mark, you can go ahead. I'm finished. Change me. Change me. I don't know how many of you in this season are in need of an oil change, but I promise you it's the best decision that I ever made. I pray this blessed you as much as it blessed me, but I want you to remember, in this next season of your life, I want you to be sure to check your oil regularly and frequently. Check your peace, check your joy, check your health, check your heart posture, check your doubt, check your fear. Talk to yourself. Say, no, you got to get thee behind me. Let the devil know that you cannot have me. I am walking this way. I got an all change. I am not going to move. I know this looks crazy, but all is clear. You have to check the things that is messing with your oil, having you go from sad but back to happy, from anxious to secure, from unshakable to stable. You have to seek wise counseling concerning your oil, from your pastor to your therapist to a teacher, a mentor, family, and or friends. The right ones. As always, remember, he covered the cost for your oil, because the secret is to you being all that God called you to be, is to be connected to your oil.
Hey, what's up, family? I pray that this message blessed you in a major way. So if it did, do me a favor. First thing I want you to do is please share this with 5 people. Next thing I want you to do, if this blessed you and you want to sow into this ministry, please make sure you sow here if you grow here. And last but not least, please make sure you stay connected. How? www.ahopministries.org, where you can find out everything that we have going on here. So please join us next week here, same time, same place, 10 a.m. every Sunday. How do you get here? 3510 West Marlborough Street. Please make sure you get your faith into place. It's benediction time. Come on, stand up, lift your hands. Now unto him who is able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all we can ask, imagine, or dream. To the only wise God be power, dominion, and majesty, both now and forever. May our enemies come one way, but scatter 7 different ways, but never come near our dwelling. May the Lord bless us in the city as he's already blessed us in the field. Have a great week. Peace.